Mimo bibi akwaba eba Melodies TV. So we are still on the judiciary. Na unim say one of the reasons in tiang grofo judiciary echi say case a womudi na nsen no abamba gbendie no nini na politics omo ye MPP for and say LGBT case akwa akoto mu nim de dada omo nya hwe emfa ho Ghana fo aka omo nya hwe na afenwuma kendie ba ya na nsen ya wo mo anche omo aba be ma ruling wo so Ghana fo bebre na abomochi se sa de na omo judges no eyeye no entwaye na omo aba abonten aba be kasa the judicial service aba abonten aba be kasa say Ghana fo blame the Supreme Court for the delay in the LGBTQs na ye hwe de ntia wo mo kasa ma ye blame omo no ne hu ne se de wo mo ka no ewom say any kwan say ye blame omo ana say they are just finding excuses. Now, I see the Judicial Service of Ghana has refuted the assertion that the Supreme Court and Chief Justice Gertrude Tukonu are deliberately delaying the suit filed against the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, on the passage of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Act, commonly known as the Anti-Gay Bill. In response to a petition for the Supreme Court to expedite the hearing of the cases against the passage of the Anti-Gay Bill, the Judicial Service indicated that the parties involved in the suit are those delaying the hearing. It's almost say, my blame yomo, na nyomo, a yomo case ni muno, omo and omo delay. That is say Alban Bagbin and the likes. Right? Or say, it indicated that parties in the suit must file their statements before the court sits, which has not been done. Online.com report. Into a person say parties are more case no suit ni mu no. E was some file omo statement. Na wo file omo statement no eno hunti e na emma court no enye den entena ase. Sa na court ye adwuma. That's interesting. What I know about court ni say ye be ma o date say file o statement during this date. And so one file statement during that date now, the court will go on to rule on the case. In fact, Samuni Amokaya, Nansenya, Afenuma Kindia, Womudi ruling by Alban Bagbin, lawyer, Anko file statement bia. As someone Supreme Court, Chief Justice Ekan and say, well, they'll still continue with the case, whether Alban Bagbin presents a lawyer to file his case or not. Muni Amokai. Yes. It's a media minimum. And your court in a date. Say by this date, file your statement. It is a date need through. That's a one file statement. They are going to continue to rule. Even cases on defamation. So will be the Oko court, not the Oko for defamation. Ube say sometimes a trouble case so say by this date, I was say Ode judge Ode lawyer eba. Now Oba file a statement. Say one lawyer and bana one bamba. They will still continue with the case as the other person no the case about also. For me, no, I am not a lawyer. But for me, no, what I know about the court processes, no, it doesn't matter. Court enka say, mumie no file statement. Na court say or train. Na statement no, mumie no fan by and no hunti, me court me ma ruling. Minti bida, ewa Ghana ha. Sende, the judicial service say katre Ghana for say, the people involved in the case no mon file or statement into na case no mon tia so dia me wanwa pa say court na tre say wo mo ama date na was microphone ni mum na file nti microphone file statement then da court no e beto a case ne so then minti bi da. So maybe this is the first time I'm hearing of something like this. And I say for the Supreme Court to hear any case, the parties are required to file their respective pleadings in the form of a statement of case within the timelines provided for by the Supreme Court rules 1996. In the Supreme Court now say within the timeline. Right? That's what the Supreme Court is saying. Say for the Supreme Court to hear any case, the parties involved should file their case within the timelines. So if a party doesn't file the case within the timeline, the Supreme Court continues with the case. The Supreme Court doesn't say this person has not filed the case, and so we are waiting for them to file the case. Vivinti nipa kono wan file case in 2 years. Granate say, what are they saying? Media no ne or say, as the two communications issued earlier stated, Parliament and the parties have not complied with the requirements that allow a trial of the case raised by the plaintiffs. The statement from the Judicial Service is quoted to have indicated. The service went on to admonish all parties to file their pleadings for the hearing of the cases by the Supreme Court to commence. Attach the agency to this case as shown in the petition and file the necessary processes for the cases to be heard. It's added. This is quite interesting. This is very, very, very interesting. On Wednesday, February 28th, 2024, the Parliament of Ghana passed the Promotion of Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, widely known as the Anti-LGBTQ+ Bill. The bill, currently awaiting presidential assent, outlaws lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender activities and criminalizes their promotion, advocacy and funding. Persons caught in this act will be subjected to a 6 months to 3 year jail term, with promoters and sponsors facing a 3 to 5 year jail term. The bill now requires presidential assent to come into force within 7 days. However, if President Akufo-Addo refuses to assent to the bill, Parliament by a 2/3 majority vote can pass it into law. The Office of the President has instructed the Parliament of Ghana not to attempt to transmit the anti-gay bill until 2 legal actions against it in the Supreme Court are resolved. So basically, this is the story, and basically, the Judicial Service is sort of blaming the parties involved. Yate. Yate. Comment no. I say, then why is the Chief Justice failing to give ruling on the injunction? I say, the injunction was heard a long time ago, and the Chief Justice is refusing to give judgment on that. And that is the problem. She's intentionally delaying the process to help Akufo-Addo not sign. I say, to help Akufo-Addo not sign. Why did the Supreme Court rule in the current 4 MPs case, even though the Speaker did not file any defense? The Chief Justice herself even said arrogantly in open court that they would rule even if the Speaker chooses to file a defense or not. Ghana Supreme Court double standard. Exactly what I was saying. Inti asemo obi kanono. Say Chief Justice no say injunction or ruling na or delay on the injunction on ruling on the case into a delay case no. Ena ne pakona sanso ka say afenyo mark ndie no oka say sa abambagben wan file the case kana they will still rule. Inti the entana we no opeso oka say mom file case nti ne enye ho hwe. Asemo obi ka. Or say shut your trunks there in your judiciary MPP headquarters. You are getting some of us angrier. You just are nation wreckers. If any war should start in Ghana, it will be all means be because it will be all means be because of you, this injustice MPP judiciary. I say in the just decided case, the courts proceeded without title sorry. So why not the case? And why not the same? Liars. Inti asemwa meka no and no answer no will be answer airbro so. I say, what thing to say? Why don't you throw out the case? You were very quick to deal with what Afenyo Makin brought to you, even though you could have referred him to the High Court to still have ample time to throw that case out because of its public interest. Don't worry, Trump is here and believes in sex determination at birth, which is either a male or a female, unlike Obama and Kamala Harris, who were forcing it on us. At the appropriate time, the right thing will be done. Apolitical. Okay? Also, JDM is coming to do away with it, so allow the anonymous FC judges rest on their biased chairs. Trump commences banning LGBTQ practices in America. So will JDM do in the first week of office. Also, oh, I see. Is it because the Judicial Service considers the entire public daft? Or is it because the Judicial Service itself is so daft that they consider that the public with whose money they are paid are collectively not intelligent enough to see through the brazen lies and games they are playing with us in the public. So be as someone can say, "Sir, jama muhu Ghana for say ye Jimmy won. Ghana for sika ye di tia mo kano. Muhu Ghana for say be ye yankwasiafo." Also, the substance of the above statement also suggests that perhaps the administrators of the judicial service themselves are either being manipulated or are simply unaware, or better still, completely naive about the overbearing political nature of the issue at hand and the corollary effects of it on our national independence, our racial dignity, and indeed on the future sanity of mankind. I think the judicial service would have spared itself further flack if they had simply kept mute about this matter, because unfortunately today it appears that the ideal concepts of freedom and justice are in the firing range of the judiciary, the very institution whose mandate it is to uphold those laudable ideas. Ghana for adwene tredo no. Mon share mo comment box ni motie for me da ase.